We are live once again, and it is a beautiful day. This time I've got a guest who I've had on before, one that we absolutely love, to put it mildly. He's a gym rat who trains every day. He is up on the latest tech. He rides his bike, loves it, loves running through trails. Absolutely amazing. He's just started recently a walk with God a couple months back. He makes everything look easy. If I was going to give him a beer, it would absolutely have to be a Dos Equis because he is the most interesting man in the world. And without question, with Houston, there is no problem. My friend, Mr. Patrick Houston.
Mr. Philip Henderson, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that intro. It's weird to hear, because I can say the same things about you. It's so weird to hear your accolades in front of you. Like, yeah, I do that.
It's my favorite thing. Most people don't realize exactly what it is they do until somebody tells them.
Yeah.
And they just go about doing what they're doing, just exceptional stuff. And then somebody tells them and they stop and they go, oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to work. I guess I got to keep quota.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about that. It really, really is. But the first question is just in general, how have you been doing?
Not bad. I've been perfecting the dream. Perfecting the dream. That is the routines are a constant work. The business is a constant work. Pivoting the business was a constant work. Um, it's work, but it's worthwhile work. It's definitely worthwhile work. Yeah.
That's why I know without a doubt you literally juggled a million different balls. It's crazy. Between the fact that when you think about it, I mean, you had not only your business is plural because you had separate stuff going on. You had not just your transportation, which of course Xena Transports is crazily good. You also had um, where you were doing the smart home work for
Right.
certain
Right.
clients at one point, and then you still do transportation. On top of that, we're not done with all those. That's just three of them that you have in the air. At one point, you're still also training for ultra marathon, which not just any marathon, people. We're not talking about just the run straight up. We're talking about he also does biking. He also does swimming. So you have separate training for each of those three of things. Plus, you have to do just basic in general training in order to just maintain. So that's another. So you're just there's even more stuff that you go on. I mean, the fact that you still keep up on the latest tech, even just in general. I think we went on the last show saying well, that don't go to jail. The worst thing that could happen to you is the fact that
I'll lose
you
my touch
lose
with
your
tech.
touch with tech. Um, but man, like to have all those different things in the air moving around, like in fact with the transportation, I'm even going to go as far to say that that alone was just a crazy thing. When you're just taking people and items from different places, I think you've closed off a little bit of that. You didn't like not got rid of it totally, but you've narrowed your field of play for say. Like
Right.
at one point you were going up as far as New York, and then at one point you went down as far as into yeah on the New
D-
Jersey Shore area
Jersey
even
Shore,
further.
D.C. metro area. I've been down there. Maryland. Far west is Harrisburg. I try to keep it within like 90 miles because that's all you really want to do to your car. Especially you're making payments. You know what it is. I see that pretty little orange tracks you got out there,
Yeah.
man. You putting like 30. You putting like 400 miles a day on that sucker.
And
It's
you're
like,
like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I was doing a lot. I was definitely doing a lot of stuff because that's what happens in your first couple of years out here in the entrepreneurial world. Like you do have to like kind of try different things out. And it was weird. It's funny because like when we first had the first podcast, you made me aware of that because I don't even realize it's like yes, get this podcast going. Oh yeah, people need to know about this Wise camera. Let me just then you just doing like all these different things, but then like you start to realize that you're a jack of many trades and master of few. So you begin to drill down on what works. So I don't know where we should start. Like why I pivoted it sort of away from the smart home business into more so the transport business, or why I got rid of the podcast and the videos. I don't know where you wanted me to like kind of go with it.
That's one of the things I forgot to show you. And I'm gonna go with this. In fact, this is what I love to do. Everybody who's ever heard any of my shows know that I love to show behind the curtain. I officially decided to write down the show rules. And the most important part about it is rule number 4. That's the one exactly that we're looking at right now.
I am the host and the guide of the conversation, but the show is about you. I love this. I was like, where'd you get a laminator from?
Let me tell you, that's one of my favorite things that Laminator Man got a couple years ago, and I can't stop using it.
To tell you what, I can use that. It would be really good for like cheat sheets and stuff like that, codes and. Anyway, we'll get into that stuff later. But yeah.
So essentially, you're talking about that like. I mean, I laminate all kinds of stuff.
That's
all kinds of stuff.
That's actually really smart. I need to invest in one of them.
And it was. I think it was maybe like $50, $60 or whatever.
Yeah, they're not terrible at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw them online when I was looking for that Surcut. When we were looking for that Surcut machine for Yolanda. Yeah, but yeah.
So essentially, to get not too far off the track there, but where do you want to go?
Well, I'll start with the work. So. As you know, like when I left the casinos, we talked about this.
That was definitely something I wanted to talk about, the casinos in the process. But let's keep going with this because you mentioned something that made me go, what? In one of your Houston's, was it the Hustle Hobby? I think it was a Hustle Hobby. Now I'm getting a little scatterbrained, but you were talking about something in the casinos involving AI.
Oh, that thing. That's probably prevalent now.
Ugh.
Because that was 2000.
A couple years ago, right?
Yeah, that was 2009. Even more like 10 years ago.
That's
we
scary.
were talking about that in 2017. Now, what he's talking about, long story short, it was basically your slot machines have cameras on you. The cameras are reading your facial expressions, and if you're a high limit player, or you spend a lot of money in the casinos, if you're not happy, and it's also reading the rate of tapping when you're at the machine, so you start topping faster. It's an indication of you being impatient. So a drink server will that slot machine camera will notice your emotion on your face and your tap rate, and it will dispatch a drink server to bring you a drink to keep you in the game. And that was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago. So it was like those places. All these things all these algorithms, this AI. The reason why it's so big is because it gamifies everything. Look at your banking applications. If you have your banking applications, they get here's points for this. You opened up a direct deposit. Here's points for this. Oh, you want to refer a friend to give you $100, and they try to gamify everything. These algorithms, they are. I don't know if they're. Everybody says they're the future. They certainly are. I just don't know if it's a good or bad thing just yet.
That's where I'm at. I mean, it sounds crazy to say this, but I mean, some people think that conspiracy nuts, essentially, right? It's like this AI is doing a lot, and what we've been able to do with robotics, just in general.
Have you seen some of the things coming out of China in the Optimus bot? Very interesting stuff.
You combine that artificial intelligence with a robot that can physically move and do things. You're starting to talk about Terminator stuff here.
Yeah. We're in the realm of, I want to say, Terminator level stuff. I'm going to say that's about 16 years off. Right
Scary.
now,
we're not that far away.
Like we're at the point. We're just at the point where vacuums can walk up steps. We're at the point where a robot can fold your clothes. So robots it's called AGI, artificial general intelligence. They're really good at doing specific things, but it takes them a while to do more so general things. Just for instance, just me just switching glasses. That would be so many algorithms and things.
A lot of ones and zeros.
Exactly, for like the regular robots now, but like it's coming, like because the Optimus bots are scary, and the ones that China is coming out with are really scary. Um, I think they'll help people later on in their life, especially people who need a lot of people, like a lot of people, that's a whole industry now. Like it's there's an industry where you can take care of your family and get paid for it by the government.
Yes, yes.
That will go away thanks to these like Optimus bots. It'll be just like iRobot.
You can
I
have the
think
robot do those little things that, like, the whole question of whether you're going to put grandma in the nursing home might actually be like, we don't have to do that.
No, because here's this robot that can has a 16-hour battery. It'll watch her while she's taking a nap. It'll charge up while she's sleeping. It'll, while it's on its charger, if something's going on upstairs, it has a listening device, maybe a camera even in the room to watch to see what's going on, looking at chest patterns, making sure everything's okay. It's scary. That's what home automation is.
It makes sense because you figure, I mean, just the watches alone can tell you your heart rate and all that other stuff. So
listening to you snore.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that makes sense. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, something's wrong. It could alert all kinds of first responders if needed. It could call whoever.
And I think that's the utopic. Like, that's where I was going for in Houston's home automation. That sort of utopic world. The idea of Houston's home automation, not was, but is to have a house to completely think for you, to completely be intuitive. If you're low on, say, paper towels, the house is ordering you paper towels. If you want, if you want a certain food, the house is giving you the certain food. Yeah, sure, there's a subscription models and everything behind it, but all bills are paid. Your power is taken care of because of solar. Your car is electric. All that stuff is taken care of. Everything is fine. Your house is automated, so you can focus on things like this. For the rest of your life, to focus on those creative things. That's what the AI is supposed to do. That's just a piece of it. But again, that's utopic. I don't know if that's actually going to be the way it's going to be.
We don't want it to go to that dark part that very quickly that's in everybody's mind. I mean, because you figure, a perfect example. There was what was it? I was watching an episode of what was it I was watching? Yep. Hold on. We'll get a pause for just a second.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Wife's got it.
Well, no pause. We'll continue.
Sorry, that's my dog Theodore. He is a little yippy guy. Thank you, I appreciate you.
The fun thing was I was watching an episode of 911. Was it? That's what it's called? Yeah, 911. The show that's
not the Reno 911.
No, just it's like it's a 911.
Oh, the one with Angela Bassett in it?
Yeah, with Angela Bassett.
I always wanted to see that show.
I have streamed the whole thing, and I love everything about it. There was one weird spot that came up when they went in space, but yeah, they went to space. But it made sense. I'm gonna say that it's weird to say that a regular show on I think it's Fox has people going to space when you talk about 911
people. I got a 911 call from Mir.
But it actually makes sense. But this is the thing that makes it even scarier, is the fact that on that show, there was, who was it specifically? The actual call center. They brought in a bunch of people for the call center, and this guy was a tech guy who came up with an AI automation for the 911 system. And it turns out that it was doing its job good, but then it started doing its job too well. Now, if you're going to start watching 911, I recommend starting watching from the beginning, so you won't even remember what I'm going to tell you now.
Sure.
The AI was so advanced, and it started to, there was a button where you could push to go to the actual human that's bought, right? The AI overrode the human, and actually told this guy who had a piece of glass in his neck, in order to stop it, the AI told him to create a tourniquet. And what he did was he created a tourniquet, and it was around his throat. So he ended up
pushed it further in,
and he went unconscious because he kept getting it tighter, because you're supposed to have pressure on it, and it's around his carotid artery. So of course, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, more so Jiu-Jitsu submission, like the rear naked choke. Essentially, he gave himself a rear naked choke with the thing, and could have died in the show, except for they figured it out and they stopped it.
And that's fascinating. That's the flaw with AI. It's not human. Mm-hmm. It's not. It doesn't get certain inferences just yet.
No.
It'll learn it, but not now. Not now.
It would be simple if it was just a cut on his leg or something like that. It would probably he wouldn't have passed out. So in theory, he probably would have been okay. But that's the scary version. And eventually, they ended up having to
I gotta
finish off
check
that
this out.
episode. It was the AI took over all of the system, and they tried to turn it off, and it turned itself back on. They unplugged it, but it was in the system. Like the actual algorithm of the AI was floating through the servers
Mm.
of the 911 operation. So what they ended up having to do was the operator ended up tricking the AI, which was weird, and told the AI that it should leave the system and go somewhere more comfortable. And she had a thumb drive that had like some music on it, some other things, and she plugged it in. The AI checked it out and said, "Oh, it's kind of nice in there. I like the music." And then the AI decided to leave the system and went into the thumb drive, and that's how they were able to get it out. They put it in the thumb drive, and because
Computer bear trap.
yeah,
Yeah, you like this? It's a 2 terabyte thumb drive.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
the guy who came up with it was like, "Oh, good." Essentially, you could see that he was ready to take the thumb drive and like, "Okay, now I have my AI. I can use whatever it is."
Yeah.
But the operator said, "Nope, crush the thumb drive. We're not letting that happen."
I think that's what we're looking forward to. Anybody like the show Wally? Wally. That's us.
I
Wally.
think about that all the time. I can see us right now in those little chairs.
Just around, and then all they were doing was just scrolling
Yep,
on their chairs,
yep.
just random food. Like it was, they didn't even have to like for food. They would just reach out, eat.
Mhm.
It just. Mm-mm,
And
mm-mm.
what do you think about that? Because I thought about it, in fact, last night. Not last night. Maybe 3 nights ago, before I went to sleep. And that's why I stopped doom scrolling, because I was sitting there doom scrolling, doom scrolling, doom scrolling, doom scrolling, and then I thought about, huh, the only thing I'm missing is that thing where I just reach out and grab the food. And then I'm like, all right, I'm done.
That's the whole thing, and that's the thing you got to be careful with. Like the these AIs, they seem to be gearing us toward what we want, because what we want is more comfort. What we want is more complicity. And what ends up happening is, you've done it, I've done it, hours doom scrolling, hours doom scrolling. Next thing you know, you don't get this. It's not like you have this feeling of accomplishing anything. You're just more foggy when you started.
Yep.
With your leg is like a UHF channel on TV in the '80s, just like
Yeah. Come on now.
like just gone. So like it's like these are the pitfalls of that, and then, that's why I ended up getting back to we'll talk about the whole spiritual thing um, too, because it's one of those things where it's just like there's just too much subjective truth with AI. It reinforces your truth right back at you. It's an echo chamber. If and I don't want to make the show racial or anything like that, but if you like something that says that black people are Israelites and we've been the original Jews, that we've been oppressed, and the next thing you know, now you have all these supporting things.
Everything.
Exactly. Now you're in this whole echo chamber. Here's these groups, and here's this friend, and there's this event that's going to happen that's about this, and now you're radicalized. Like,
Yep.
and this is all dystopian, and it's whatever your sway is, it will cater to you.
Yeah, it will. It absolutely will.
But like I don't know if that's the way to live. So I began to sort of go back against that. That's why I stopped doing all my videos and stuff like that, because it's just I want to be interested in the things that I want to be interested in, like your podcast. You're the only podcast that I listen to. Well, no, I listen to like a little Bible scholar podcast, but just those two, because there's millions of podcasts.
Yes.
I can't keep up with Jim
Yep.
Cornette, whatever.
No, yeah, exactly.
Just, whatever. It's just too much. And I drive a car for like 6 hours a day, so
And you
it's
still have yeah.
And I still have like my things that I need to learn, the latest tech, different business mechanics, all these things that just all vie for your attention, and you just you begin to sort of run away from it and hide from it. I think that's what I did, just to because I have to go through life with some sort of vision. If you're over there, you'll be everywhere with that stuff, like Wally.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but it's absolutely true. You do sort of need to have sort of a tunnel vision, even though there's a lot of stuff that's going on around you. You have something that I want to get to this point by this point. In order to do that, I need to focus on that spot that I'm going to, as opposed to turning left. I can't turn left, because if I turn left, then I have to go back and I have to come back around, and then I'm back where I was. Now, at this point in time, especially in the tech industry, you could have missed something
Yep.
in between
Yep.
that may have showed you that maybe I don't want to go this way, or maybe you could have found out something that was better. You wouldn't know if you because you went off the other side because you were thinking of something else.
That's very true. That's why I have this is a, I think I got this question. I can't remember where I got it from, but I wrote it down. It's my new matrix, and it's a little bit too far for the camera, but it basically says, I call it the 10-10 quick to 10-10-10 question.
Oh, it's beautiful.
How will whatever decision you make in your decision matrix, how will it affect you in 10 days? How will it affect you in 10? I think I have 10 months and 10 years. I really should have said like 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months for smaller decisions, and then 10 days, 10 months, and 10 years for bigger decisions. Because you start getting like you're like hobbies. Like, how many hobbies do we have? How many as adults? Like, how many hobbies? Like, my wife, she's in the knitting, she's in the art, she's in the charcoal art, she's in the plants. I myself, I'm into lifting, I'm into
Mhm.
tech, I'm into smart homes. I got all this stuff going on, and it's like, oh, this is all money and this is all time. And you start to look at all the stuff that you have, and like, wait, this was used to. I look at this one thing, it's like all your things and all your junk and crap that you have around. It's like this was all money that used to be yours. So,
Yep.
like,
Thank you, Tony. Not Tony Khan, but what's his name? The other Khan, the WWE Khan. I can't think of his name right now. Makes me so mad. Totally offshoot, as you're saying.
I'm
that,
thinking of Tony Khan. That's the guy that
That's
runs
AEW.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other Khan. I can't think of what his name is off the top of my head, but I know right now, since in just a short period of time, a little tiny sliver. Like, forget everything else that I've ever done. I'm going to show you the stuff later at how much money that guy took from me. Or no, he didn't take anything. I gave it to
He
him.
gave it to
I
him.
gave it to him, right?
Thank you, Samsung.
But realistically, I mean, I think to myself now, it's like, that's exactly what you're saying. I look at this and like, yeah, that's money. And I saw him at the during my WrestleMania weekend. I actually saw him on day one. I saw him on when I went to SmackDown for the first time. He walked past me. A guy said, "Oh, that was Khan over there." I can't think of his name. But he's going by. I'm like, I looked over. Well, there he is. And one of those deals, right? Hindsight being 2020. From that day, I spent more money with WWE than I have spent on. I'll even go as far to say, just in my mind, just doing the numbers real quick, than I've spent on NFL stuff, Star Wars stuff. Those are the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've spent more on WWE from 2023 August until this very day, which is what is it? Today is February 21st,
21st, yeah.
2026. So within 3 years, I know I've spent more money on WWE than I have on all those other hobbies combined.
That's crazy.
Thank you, Mr. Khan, for ripping me off and me just saying, "Here, take more of my money."
I tell you what, and that's kind of funny because I think that was the last time we did a podcast around 2023. And like, you were just getting real big in the WWE again.
Yep.
Like, back when Rollins had the big funny red
Yep.
shoes and stuff.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Triple H had his hand in one pocket and Khan had his hand in the other pocket, and they were just taking stuff out of my wallet.
So you want that Becky Lynch, or
Yep.
you want that Becky
You
Lynch?
want that. In fact, it was so bad. Like, this is a show about Mr. Patrick, but we're talking about this money thing because eventually that's something that we need to talk about a little bit because he is really smart with his money. I was driving my mom home from, I can't remember if it was the store or it was definitely the store because it was dialysis. It was way too in the middle of the day for dialysis. But I got a phone call and I couldn't recognize the number, and most of the time I dismiss these numbers. But this number said Connecticut, and I scratched my head like, Connecticut? This is really weird. Now this is after WrestleMania. I pick up the phone and say, "Hello?" And the guy on the other line said, "Hey, hello, Mr. Henderson. We know that you've purchased a great deal of things lately, and you went to WrestleMania. We saw you were at Raw. We went to WWE Live, the show before it,
Mm.
all that stuff. And it's like we've seen how much things that you've purchased, how interested you are in our product, and we would like to offer you an exclusive Roman Reigns. I can't remember what it was. And they only called me. They physically called me
I'm
because
hearing like a Ferrari tier type of
all
thing. Like
that's what it was. Like because I thought to myself, and I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, oh, I'm not really interested in it. And I was driving at the same time.
sure.
And then I hung up the phone. And the second I hung up the phone after I told him I wasn't interested in it, it dawned on me. I spent that much
You're VIP to them.
that they wanted to call me and acknowledge the fact that I spent so much, so that they wanted to know if they wanted me to spend more. They wanted me to spend more,
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
and they thought that I would be willing to do so because of how much I had previously spent. I was like, what? I mean, here I am talking myself into just how crazy this all is, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I should definitely not be the guy who is buying any more things. Like, to the point that they got me though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Before we continue, I'm gonna say they got me. Like,
Well, I mean, they got me too. Like that happened to me. So like, I have this one thing that I follow on YouTube. It's called Alux, and I encourage you all to look them up on YouTube. ALUX, and you'll know them by. It's kind of like a blue crown that's like kind of written in cursive. And they've had a bunch of videos on YouTube. They literally come out with a video about I think 3-4 times a week on YouTube. But before, so they have an app now that goes through how to budget your money correctly. Maybe if you had some childhood problems as a kid, maybe if you need to learn how to speak in front of people, maybe if you learn how to do sales funnels, daily insights to make you smarter. They'll tell you about if you know about the line in Saudi Arabia, which is a city that they're growing, they're building, that's literally, it's a line, it's a giant line. Just things like that, things that just sort of keep you in the know. Now I tell you about this to tell you. Not only have I, subscribed to them on YouTube, that's all free, but they used to have classes. They had a class on learning mastery. They had a class to teach you how to learn. They had a task to teach you on how to do your goals. They had a class on teach you how to do Bitcoin. They had another class. There was a bunch of classes. A class that teach you how to be like a freelancer, and there was another class that teach you how to be a digital nomad. So out of those 5 classes, pretty good stuff, and they were actually. The classes, they were expensive too. They were like a few $100s.
That's why they get you.
Yeah, they get you good, but the class, if you apply the classes right, they make you thousands, and that's how they sell it to you. And now they have an app. The app is, I mean, they change the prices all the time, but the reason why I'm telling you this story is because they were looking for like a price point to where to price this at, and the owner of Alux himself, Emil Anton, actually emailed me and was like, asked me like, what did I think about the app? What number would I put the app at? Because we see you've gotten this class, this class, this class, and the app. And so like, I was just like, well, I gave the truth. Like, listen, the class is, I mean, the app is worth, I would say about $200 a year. $20 a month is pretty good. It's really good information. Yeah. And they constantly come out with people to teach you a bunch of stuff. So it's great. But it's like, boy, I spent so much money with Alux.
Yeah.
I'm getting emails from I'm in the top 0.1% of their fan base or something. Yep. And so like you gotta be in everything, every single subject that you look at today, you're gonna find these. You're going to find them. So you have to make sure whatever id that you're into gives you the most comfort or gives you the most value from your perception.
That's what I had to think. I mean, because in all honesty, like one of the, like I said, I'm a retired guy. I really don't do a whole lot of things, and that's where they got me, because when they changed WWE to ESPN, I didn't have that app for all the premium live events.
Oh, they don't have them on Peacock no more.
No, they're on the ESPN app, and it made me go to myself, do I really need Peacock anymore? I thought to myself, there's like 2 shows that I watch on Peacock, and I'm like, But the ESPN app, I mean, that is Monday Night Football. There's all this other stuff going on. Like, this really makes
how
more
much
sense.
is that? How much is that?
That's
ESPN.
the scary part. It's a part of the whole Disney Plus bundle.
Sure it
And
is.
instead of having what I originally had, it was like $12 or whatever it was. It went up to like 30
Ew.
because of that. And the I'm gonna say it's funny, but not funny.
Sure.
The fact that like they were expecting to get a lot more people to sign up because they figured, hey, WWE, it's gonna be here. Come on in,
It's
and it's
interesting.
ESPN, and they got way beat up because I think it was like a $5 billion deal or something.
It was
like that.
something big like that because they moved it to Netflix too, and I barely watch it.
They're not getting
It's
their money
right
back.
there. Yeah, it's I don't know why I don't like the new WWE product. I don't want to move this over to WWE
Yeah.
because we're still on the Wichita, but like
Yeah.
it's just that whole thing. And that's why I stopped even watching football because I remember I wanted to watch a game at my mother-in-law's house, and we were trying to look for a game, and we couldn't find the game. We
I
just
hate. I
couldn't
know
find
where
the
this
game.
is going.
And
Oh,
all we
my
found was
God.
like these digital X's and O's, and they would just do like a replay that didn't really have anything to do with anything.
Mhm.
It would be like the crap. Like you would see like one of the X's and O's go for like a 20-yard gain. They wouldn't show that replay. They wouldn't show you the 20-yard run, but they show you some little 5-yard screen pass, and just like what. But of course, there's the crawl down there. You can get such and such plan for something, and you can get this game, and it's just like I remember when these things, okay, it's
on
bad
TV.
enough, these are Coliseum sports. You're distracting me from whatever stuff I'm supposed to be doing anyway. But now you're slapping this premium on it, and I just feel like I started feeling like I was getting got.
Yeah,
It's
it's dirty. There's no other way about it. I mean, because like it's the worst. Like you're looking around like, oh, what time does this game on come on? Oh, okay, it comes on this time. What channel? Like, wait, no, there's no channels anymore. What app?
What app?
Do I have that app? I don't.
Oh wait, or do you have the app? You do have the app, but you don't have the correct
Do
tier.
you have the correct
You
deal?
don't have the correct tier.
Yep.
And it's just like
That's even worse. It makes you just it's like there's a guttural response when you get to that point.
Yeah.
I got especially going back to the WWE thing. I don't know if you heard about that when it first came out, like in September. There were people who were losing their mind because it's like, hey, we already have the ESPN app with
Sure.
our plan, so we should just be able to watch. I think
Just get WWE
WrestlePalooza.
because it's new. Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
Wow.
They needed to get to the other tier, like you said, even though they already had the app.
I mean, and what not to be busting on WWE, but like their youngest wrestler is like what's Drew McIntyre, like 43?
He just got to around something like that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a bunch of old guys. It's literally like, and this is the danger that the WWE had the last time. Like
Yeah.
not to be on this subject, we'll get back to work and stuff like that. But it's like Hulk Hogan in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
It's like.
Yeah.
All right, CM Punk, you're really not a rebel anymore, man.
Mhm.
Like you're the guy. You're
Yep.
you're it, man. Like
I mean, the proverbial, you are the guy who's like, you're the guy that you were talking about.
yeah, you're literally you're on the bus. You're on the truck now. You're on the truck.
Yep.
You like.
You would go all the time complaining about those old guys doing this. Now guess what? You're the old guy.
Exactly. So yeah, I got away from all that stuff. I just I got to a point where I had this I had this this theory. I was like, you know what? I want to get all of my main events from my pastor. I like that. I don't want to be on Facebook, and I don't want to see that Trump did blah and Israel did blah, and I have to have an opinion, and I'm upset about this or whatever. I don't need to know about none of that. I need to know. The pastor goes, hey, we might go to war, and God. Oh, okay. And then like the next night, I hear that like some stealth bombers did something in Gaza. It's like that's exactly what. Cause I don't want to have to think about that. I don't want to have to be fighting with people. No. Just we're gonna keep this. We're gonna drill down on the one or two. Getting back to the original thing, we're gonna drill down on the one or two hobbies that we enjoy. And everything else gets blocked out, and that's why I was actually a little bit afraid, when you offered me to go on your podcast again, because dude, I'm not that interested. Like, let me tell you something. Like, business is not that interesting. What business is I liken it to a pottery wheel.
It's
If it's
perfect.
like a potter, like every day you have the same piece of clay on the same flywheel. You kick that flywheel, but each and every day that piece of clay is different. You do a little something better every day, and that's what business is. Everybody thinks it's some sort of hustle culture race to get money to try to figure out some sort of need. No, what it is you at your job. No one gives 100% at their job.
No.
No one. But in business, you will give 100%. And your entire body and your entire being is dedicated to that 100% every single day.
That's it.
And if you can make it through it, because you have to learn systems, you have to learn all this stuff, if you can make it through that, there's no time for football. There's no time for. I don't know. I'm actually kind of sad thinking about it because it changed me. I used to like so much that I just don't have time for now.
I'm gonna tell you right here,
Like,
right now, like the whole deal with when I was doing my baking thing with Phil's pies,
I
it
remember
was
that.
the same thing. Like, granted, me being physically beat up actually slowed me down to the point where it really becomes difficult. Maybe I'll bake something once in a while, but there's no way that I'm gonna be able to do it full time like I
Sure.
had thought it in my mind. But the thing about it is, just like you're saying, you're so focused on creating different things and um, for me, different pies, different recipes, different cookies. I was thinking about it constantly to the point where it was literally the only thing that was on your mind. And then what people really don't understand, and I'm gonna like, you're probably one of the few people who will get what I'm about to say because you're doing it even better, way farther and more advanced than I did. You don't even think about the money.
No, it's got nothing to do with
You've
it.
got so many other things
No,
in
yeah.
order to polish up. Like the money, it's almost like how can I put it? You take a stick, you put it down, you put some gas on it. Now the stick and the gas, those are your doing all the stuff that you have to do, and then you strike a match. It's one more thing that you have to do, and then you put the match on that stick and gas, and now all of a sudden you get the fire.
Mm-hmm.
The fire is your money, but you're not worried about the money. You're worried about getting the stick.
Yep.
You're worried about getting the gas.
Yep.
You're worried about making sure that the match is actually ready to
Because
go.
that fire can't go out.
Yes.
It's literally the way it is. I wasn't gonna
Exactly.
use fire. I was gonna use I was gonna use it like gas.
Yep.
Money money is time
It's like the
and
effect.
options.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you like if you have a business, like for instance, I have a business, it costs it costs uh, uh, about $2,000 a month to run. I need to make sure I have that much in the bank.
Period.
So
Bottom line,
so
nothing else matters
nothing
except for
matters.
that.
Nothing else matters. So 2,000. So money equals time. So if I have $4,000 in the bank, that means if I get into an accident, I'll be fine for 2 months.
Hmm.
And that's the way I run. I mean, and that's the way I think of it. And it's in like you. So that's how in business where like it seems like we're all get money, get money, get money because
No,
no, it's life.
not.
It's life, but you're not trying to get money. The people that are I'm sorry about the lights.
Oh, that's okay.
The people that are trying to get your money that are those are the sleep. They're not business. They're shysters. They're not really business people. They're shysters.
No, because you don't do it for the money. It's like I said, money is sort of it's a side effect. It's not a side effect. It's a result
It's a
of what
result.
you're doing.
It's a result.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means so little to the grand scheme because you go into business, you at least if you go into business and all your intentions are pure and you've read the right books, you've read the $100 startups, you've read the E Myth Revisited. I'm just trying to give you good references that if you ever wanted to go into the world of business yourself, you'll find a guru, you'll find a Tim Ferriss, you'll find a Naval Ravikant. That'll give you better guidance, and then you go about your way because at least that'll make your intention pure. Um, and then you start to learn about all that stuff, and then how long does it take to read a book? Like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. So you ain't got no time for nothing else. It becomes it becomes boring and it becomes only interesting to you. Like you said, like, how much salt did I? Can I? Are you gonna go from salt to Splendid? I mean, I saw the
Mm-hmm.
sugar to Splendid because it's a little bit cheaper on your thing. Does it gonna compromise the taste? Because people are coming to you for the taste, so you really can't compromise the taste because
Exactly.
you have to cost it.
That's why it took me so long to come up with. Of course, right towards the end, I came up with the final idea for what I like to call what is those things? A s'mores cookie. I tried to make that thing 10 different times, and I finally settled upon a chocolate base with graham crackers added to it because my biggest problem was always the marshmallow.
Huh.
Because I don't know if you've ever had those insomnia cookies. They do a s'mores cookie, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have had that s'more. Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't get the marshmallow not to melt, and even if I could, it would still just turn the thing into a solid rock because the sugar would
Right, because
melt.
it would harden right back up on it. Yeah.
Yep. And my problem was I just kept working out until I said, okay. Speaking of podcasts and business at the same time, Eric Bischoff. I don't care what anybody wants to think about him for WCW, whatever, right? But I listened to his show. In fact, as far as podcast listening, right? There was up until probably 2023, I listened to it for enjoyment, and after that, I started listening to it for information. Like,
For the biz, for his acumen, his business acumen.
yes, to the point where what he's talking about, like everybody else, like I would listen to a podcast, Shannon Sharp, okay, he's doing this. Why is he doing that? Joe Rogan recently. I mean, I've been watching a lot of stuff that he's doing. Like, why is he doing that? So I'm like, even with the entertainment stuff, I'm trying to figure out why they're doing this stuff, right? And
Very
to make a
interesting.
long story short, what his thought process, which helped me out when I finally finished up making that cookie before I decided that, yeah, this is really too painful, was he said, talking about WWE, because that's what his frame of reference was the point, you're never going to be better than that. So my point was, I'm never going to be better than Insomnia Cookie. They've already been there. They're established. They have that cookie. They've made it. And
They,
they know what
they,
they're
they
doing.
already know their recipe. Yeah, sure.
So better is gone, but there are three options still. And this is, I think, the best business advice I've ever heard. Not mentioning to the people that you've already gone to, which are geniuses, but this is what he said. It just hit me. It made so much sense. He said, since I'm not going to be better, and I know I'm not, because he's all about WWE, which of course is the top of wrestling, and I'm talking about that cookie, Insomnia. They're one of the pretty big ones that crumble and all that.
Sure.
So what my plans are is going to have to make me do one of three things. I'm either going to be less than, which I don't want to be, because you're never going to sell it if you're less than. I'm going to either be like them, equal to, which is difficult.
It's
still not good.
Right, right,
Because
right.
if you're like them, now all of a sudden everybody knows them, they're not going to care about yours.
And yeah, you're in their shadow, right?
And then the one that he used, and I thought about it, like, oh, it's brilliant. Different
Sure.
then.
There it is, and that's a really good point.
Yep.
When you do your business, yeah, you're gonna copycat. No idea is a new idea,
Yep.
but your spin on the idea is what's unique.
Yep.
Your market is what's unique. And I hate to use this, for me, like, a lot of people say in the business world that that's why a lot of these you see a lot of these businesses they go up market, they go to the people who have the money, and that used to be my thing. Like, I used to try to be different, to try to go to people who don't have money, because the people who don't have money actually need the help.
Need the help.
But
yeah.
the problem with that is they don't have money and they're struggling and they need way more help than what your services can provide.
Yeah.
Dovetailing back onto Houston's home automation, that's what ended up happening. Like, somebody would want a camera. Somebody's ex-husband was stalking them or something like that, and they needed a camera. But they got, I don't know if you guys know, like, how old, like, your power breaker panels are. Like, how they have the switches. That's a modern breaker panel when it has just the switches in there. But there's older breaker panels that used to have like fuses that used to
Yes.
go in like bulbs.
Yep.
Like, you
Mother
got that
shop
kind of
guy,
power, yeah, and you running off of you trying to run like a dryer and a microwave and what you call it. He's like, yeah, sometimes I gotta like replace this fuse.
You're
It's
about
like,
to set your house on
yeah,
fire.
like, and you want a camera on top of, like, lady, you gotta get new electric. Like
all of it, yeah.
Like all of it. Like,
Yeah.
you got other real problems here, and that's what ended up happening with Houston's home automation. I would end up, instead of just putting in a camera, I would end up having to run an entirely new outlet, or I would have to modify somebody's house in some way to make some sort of peripheral work. And what ended up happening on top of that was these with these tech products, what they do is they iterate every 2 years, year 2 years. So like like a phone for instance, this is like the Samsung Galaxy S24. The 25 came out like a few months ago. The 26 is going to come out in a few months.
Yeah.
So these are iterative on years. And what ends up was even more egregious is that these tech products, they begin to stop giving you support for the tech from previous years. So just to say, if you don't have a lot of money and you buy this camera and the camera lives to be about 5 years old,
It's
next thing you know,
already-
it cuts off
Yeah.
because it's not supported anymore. What type of shit? Excuse me. What type of crap is that? So you're screwing. Like you have the thing to be. You got into these people's market. You gain their trust, and now you want to upgrade to make them spend even more money for essentially the same product or a slightly better version of it. It's robbery. It's robbery over time,
Yeah.
and that is something that I can't support. So I had to downgrade that to hobby. It wasn't so much about getting clients and stuff like that because I would muddle on if
No,
it
it's a
was
moral
like worth
thing.
it. Yeah.
It was your moral compass telling you this isn't right.
This is something's wrong with this industry. Something I can't. These people that are already struggling to make 3 grand a month while inflation is going crazy, and I'm trying to shove a camera and a color changing light bulb down their throat. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's not actually helping them. So I've always been, we were talking about money. I was always decent with money. So I wanted to sort of pivot toward that. So I needed a sort of a stopgap where I, didn't still make money and I learned more about the financial thing and, basically setting people's life up financially. And the whole thing of setting people's lives up financially is you have to set their life up mentally because a lot of people just have so many beliefs on different things. A lot of people have so many different actions on different things, and I don't want to come at anybody. Like if you have your things, whatever you order DoorDash or you do a litany of things that just eat away at your future essentially. So I wanted to learn that, and that would be the best way I thought to save people, but it's very difficult because uh, consistency beats persuasion. And the real thing about that is you have to stay in these people's lives. Like, don't do that. You have to do this. This money must go there. Oh, you have this emergency? Let's not use the money for your emergency. Let's figure out a way to get past this emergency so we don't touch the money. And all these things are so nuanced and so different.
And then the people will think to themselves, but I have to.
I have to right now. Like I just saved this $10,000 and and that's what happens. You save $10,000. Or your mom needs a surgery that's gonna cost just that much, right? And you're just like,
let me tell you, I'll be the first to tell you that I am definitely guilty of doing stupid stuff with money. I
Sure.
am really bad. I can certainly tell you in the last several years, like I said, I literally just could have just taken wads of cash and just shoved it down a toilet and
bro,
flushed
tell me.
it. It's insane how much money I gave away, and literally one group of it was just pure stupidity. The other stuff was necessity. So that's the thing right there. You have to kind of understand too. At the same time, when you're trying to save money and trying to work with money, you have to understand. It's like, okay, I can't deal with this emergency, but I must deal with this. That's what some people don't realize. That sometimes there's things that you have to do. But I guess that's what the fine line becomes because there's certain things that you need to absolutely do, and if you don't do it, it's going to make things worse.
Right.
But you're gonna just put it off. Like there's a point where you need to save some of the money, but there's a point like I've got to absolutely do this.
And that's what that's what they call it. Alux talks about this. They call it trips to tooth surgeries, and that's what it is. It's like you save some money, and you go, wow, I got all this money saved. I've been working so hard. Let me go to Puerto Rico, right? And then you go to Puerto Rico. $2,000 for a root canal. And then so the cycle goes. Every 6 months to a year, these things happen. And then next thing you know, there's your trap. Next thing you know, you're 60 years old with only $20,000 towards your retirement or something. And you realize, oh, I'm going to die on a job. I'm going to be that guy, and that's it. And it's because, you weren't taught, um, and life keeps lifing. Life never stops lifing. I twisted
No.
my I twisted my ankle mowing the lawn.
I'm
I
laughing at you for a
freaking
second. Don't go too far, but that just made me laugh because not to interrupt your story because your story is great, but you're talking about twisting your ankle. I had my really good doctor who actually repaired my ankle. I guess at this point it's been 16. No, I did it in 2005, so I guess wow, that's 20 years ago.
nice.
21 years ago, the guy fixed my ankle, right? And the one thing, this man, everything he said was so consistent. So once you said twist your ankle, it made me laugh because the first thing he said is, you're going to be prone to sprains. And he was right. Like, I would sprain my ankle every few months. And I still do it to this day. Every once in a while, I'll be walking around and I sprain it. And I'm like, oh, man.
And how's the sprain hurt? What is it? Is that basically just a hairline fracture and the bone just?
Oh, not the bone, but the ligament itself. It's like micro tears that'll happen in the ligament. And what happens is you just have to rest it, and eventually those tears will heal themselves back up again.
Hmm.
And without fail, for the last 20 years, I have not gone. I'm gonna say the longest I went was 2 months without spraining my ankle,
That's crazy.
and it's to the point where it's funny because I'd be walking around and you wouldn't even know it sometimes. Like I would work in the jail and I'd have sprained my ankle and nobody knew it. I'd still be running up to some block to go help
Go
put
take
some
care of
cuffs on somebody, and nobody would do it because it got to the point where I just got so used to it. It's like a regular occurrence.
That's
Like even with my back right now, like I said, I went off topic just a little bit.
No,
Because,
it's cool because I mean that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. There's so many things. It's probably gonna be so long, but like I'm starting to deal with like different injuries and stuff like that. And I've been listening to your podcast for years, and like the recovery things, and you get real intricate in the details when it comes to like your recovery and the things that you did to which call it. It really gave me, especially for my shoulder. I had to mend this sucker myself. I remember that one time you had it was like a four-parter on, it was a stomach disorder. I forgot the name of it.
the whole sarcoidosis deal.
Sarcoidosis, yeah.
Woo!
That was a trip. That
Yeah.
whole shit was,
Uh-huh.
that whole thing was a trip.
Mhm.
So it's like,
That
real quick, you go back, I want to say go back to episodes like maybe 210, something like that,
yeah.
210 to
I
220.
started discussing that whole
Yeah,
2002, 2003.
Yeah, that was a whole
2003
trip.
That was
Like,
whew.
on the birthday and all that
Yeah.
shit. Like, that was a trip.
and everybody laughs because it's the truth. Like I think I mentioned it sometimes. I would put my hand on a truckload of Bibles in the middle of the Vatican.
Yeah, ain't no fact or
was
fiction on that one.
True,
Ain't no
100%
fact or
true.
fiction on that
Like,
one. That was.
I actually, and I to this day, I miss it because it was at my mother's house before she moved. Before she moved in with me, well before that, or actually, I told her like, get the box. Get the box. The nurse left the box for the end of it. I got on my birthday, and I said, "Get that box. I want it." And she's like, looking at me, "Why do I want that?"
Just,
And I told her,
this is
that's
part of my life.
first thing, the only thing I got on my birthday that was wrapped up. I want it.
I earned this.
Yeah, I earned it.
Yeah, that's a trip, man.
And I
God
kept
bless
that
you.
box for like 15 years.
That is an absolute trip. Like that. Those are the realities of like. Getting back to the money, those are realities of like, they everybody wants to tell you that with this when it comes to money, oh, you put X amount of dollars into this index fund for 20 years and you'll come up with this much money. Hope stop. Let's run back that sentence.
Yeah.
You put X amount of dollars, 20 years a month that you're committing to a thing. How much discipline does that take in and of itself? Just say, I have to commit $800 a month to my IRA so I don't have to work at 65. $800 a month. The average pay salary for people right now is between $3 and $4 grand a month. That's what a normal person makes.
It's about
so a third.
You get a third of your money.
A fourth of your money into this thing, and you get to just watch it grow while you're eating pork and beans.
But the problem
Like,
is, yeah, I mean, I think about that all the time. It's like, the idea is so great, but the problem is for the average person, like you said, you're going to be sitting there eating pork and beans. And then the thing that always gets me is I always like to call it the bust area. You can have all the money piled up, you've been saving it for years, especially in the profession that I had just left, the corrections, the average lifespan of a corrections officer who does just in general, right, is 63.
Mm.
So if you're telling me I have to put this much money
That's a
away
lot of
until
stress.
68, am I even going to be around?
That's so scary. I didn't know it was that low.
Oh yeah, it's stupid low.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've said it a couple times. As far as the stress went, I didn't realize, and that's the scariest part about stress. You don't even know it, and like,
Sure. You're not
it's
because you in
weird.
it. You in it.
You're
Yeah.
in it. You're doing it. You're doing all this stuff, and like when we went to a Disney cruise in 2019, and I was driving, everybody was in there. Courtney said to me in the middle, probably somewhere past, we were in Virginia, that neighborhood, right? She said something that still to this day haunts me in my dreams. She says, "This is the least stressed you've seemed in a long time." And I'd only been working for 2 years at that point in the jail, and I didn't even notice that I was like that, like always on, always stressed. And that was after 2 years
Bro,
of
that's
working.
heart attack territory.
Yeah,
Like that's why I got out of the casinos because that's a scary place to be.
I couldn't imagine because I'm thinking to myself now, like I know these people who just graduated, retired after 20, 25, 30 years, and I'm thinking to myself, how did you do it?
Right.
Because like if I was feeling that stress and didn't even realize it at that point in time after 2 years,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but it makes sense to me because I think about myself now. It's like this is why those people go. Again, put my hand on a truckload of Bibles. This is why my coworkers go to Dubai for vacation.
And that's another thing, and that's a very good point that you bring up. I call it escapism. And that was one of the reasons why I needed to get out of my job too. Because and I want to touch on something that you said real quick. Wives, they see that, but they, bills still got to get paid. So they're just like, and meanwhile, you're white knuckling, daddy, it's just, it's too much, it's so much.
It was a constant struggle when it was always like, oh, you're always so focused on that, but because in my mind it's like not to get too far off in
it's
my
fine,
stuff,
it's fine, yeah.
but I have to just say it, like as far as forget just working in a jail, forget that. Any first responder in general, right? It's just the stress level is so stupid,
Yeah.
and you don't even realize how stupid it is. Like there's points in time where realistically, you come home in anything, no matter what it is, whether it's jail or anything else like that, and there is no way that people who are in your house are going to be able to understand what you just did.
Right.
And when that happens, and you can and they ask you, "Oh, how was your day?" Your answer is always the same. And I don't know how many people don't do this because I'm going to just guess. Like this is just me. I know that my uncle was a police officer, and I knew one of my best friends. His dad eventually retired as a chief of police in a couple spots, and I knew a bunch of different police officers.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But anytime somebody would ask them, "How was your day?" their answer would always be the same. One of three things. And it was always three. And I got those three things too. Answer number one, it was okay. You're not killing them anything that happened. Answer number two, you don't want to know. And answer number three is it doesn't matter.
That's a trip. Either one of those is a trip.
Which one of those answers is any good? First of all,
literally none. Literally none.
But if you were to say, well, I'm not gonna get like I said, there's a million stories that I have. Like I was thinking about this the other day. The Men in Black, when Kay was talking to Jay, and he said, "Yeah, I have a million memories in my head, or at least 1,000 memories that I want to get rid of." I have that in 5 years,
Sure.
no doubt. Like, and I think to myself, there is no way that even on this show that I'll even go into. I'm gonna say, I probably can touch a quarter of this stuff, but there's stuff I'll never mention on.
Because and it's not even and I get it too because it's not even the fact like this will make good podcast material. No, it just takes you back to a dark place.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with going back, and this is another thing that you have to remember. It's called perseverating. My wife taught me this word, and it's like when you go over, whatever thing that you've been through, whatever thing that you did wrong, or whatever situation that you were in, you go back and you begin to think about that thing again, and now you have to feel those feelings again. And then it's
It's
just
like
like,
you're there.
no,
Sometimes
no, why would you want that? Like, remember that time you cheated on me and I forgave you, and then you just be sitting there like, yeah, and then you just start talking about that. Next thing you know, you just, yeah,
you're right back, and you're like,
that's
no,
not a
good.
good place to be at.
It's
So
not.
I mean, I totally get it. Like, nah, run from that.
Yep.
I mean, it gave you the experience just like me at the casino. I mean, I could get into those stories. They were just they were stupid. They weren't like. I'm sure your stuff was like, oh yeah, how was your day? Oh, a guy tried to hang himself from his toilet. Whatever. Just like one of those.
Quite
like,
literally, I can say that some of them are like that.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So yeah, like and those things, you're. It takes a lot of bravery to as a man, because I could talk to you like this. It's very nice because as men we tend to be on islands. You have
Yes.
your family. You are the head of that household. There's not a lot going on. Like I don't have. You're my only friend that I made in the last year, 2 years. I don't have time
No, you're just
for
running around doing all
I,
that.
I have a church. There was a nice community there and everything. But besides that, I don't have time to talk. I would love to have a guy to talk to about. I don't have time for that. So now you have that, and you have this stressful job that you go to, and you have your family, and you have no outlet. So what do? Yeah, well, what hobbies do you have? Substance abuse.
Let me tell you how many of my coworkers did that.
Right? You got substance abuse. You got isolation, and that's the thing where you're sitting. You know what you're talking about. You're sitting in the driveway with your car in idle, in front of the house after work, like, because you just got finished dealing with that, and then you just like,
I can promise you,
Alright.
it changed the way I parked even at work. Like, it did. Like, I always like to tell everybody if I don't know if I could I bring, let me see. John, I'm stealing something from Joe Rogan. Sorry, buddy, but I have to because it makes a lot of sense. Let's see if I can find it. Uh, uh, Here. Do we have a good picture? That's what I'm looking for. Of course it's open. Let me see. That's not what I wanted. Oh, yeah,
always
this
takes you
is.
to some weird that Google. Gotta love Google.
Oh, it's only showing the outside. It's not showing me the thing that I want to show. I wanted to show the parking lot, but it doesn't show everything like that. But the way it's set up,
Yeah, because I've
it's
never been actually, because we, like, just so you know, like, I don't want to say the casino, but like literally I worked at the casino next door
next
to
door.
your
Yeah,
like,
exactly. We're talking about that, so you understand.
Yeah.
Like that part, that road that there's right between. There's the jail itself, and then that's the parking is over there
Right.
on the other side. When you go right through there, and then there's a
Right.
casino. Now, there was a point where like, oh, I want to park the closest you can get. Normally, natural reaction, right? But after like a year, I realized this helps decompress. I parked the farthest spot I could because it made it even better because there was a road in between the parking lot, which was nice. So I said, okay, I'm gonna work out all this junk, or at least as best I can, until I get to this point where the road splits, and at that point, all the jail stuff stays here. Then I go back to
I remember you were talking about this
home.
at one point. Yeah.
Yep, like then it's home. Everything at this point is home. I don't think anything else.
And that's so dope. And these are the coping mechanisms that
The fact
you
that
know
you have to
that
think
you
of that
that
stuff,
you
right?
have to do. I remember doing that when I was at the casinos because it would be literally I would walk into a casino and it would be this 1.2 million dollar machine is down and it takes these 19 people to work on this. If this machine is down, it takes these 19 people 35 hours to count $7 million or something, and they're waiting for you. They're all mad at you. They're all mad at you
Because they can't leave.
because they
before it
can't
goes
leave
down.
until you shot. And they're literally standing there with like state representatives with rifles standing by the door waiting for that machine and that money to get done. So everybody's waiting for you, right?
So it's even 19 hours after you're finished.
And this is after that. Then,
Oh.
this is like they want you there now. It's like you'll get that call. They start counting money like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So you'll get that call 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning if the machine is broken. They want you there as soon as possible. And then you're there, you're working on that machine, and it might be it might be a hard fix. It might be a belt that might take like 3 hours.
Oh.
So you have to take apart this entire machine, 3 hours, and then right when you're just about almost finished that machine, another casino calls with the same problem.
They gotta
and,
wait for you.
and it's clear across the city.
So it's gonna.
And you're just like,
really, oh no.
so you're listening to the Rogan, and you're on 676 with stress because it's traffic.
And you're not gonna get there anywhere close to the
You're
time
not
you
gonna
thought
get
you were
there
gonna
until
get.
3 o'clock, so they're mad at you. They're calling you, and you're on, and you're just like, you haven't eaten.
No, of course not.
You haven't anything,
No.
and you're just, you're. You know, I remember my dinner used to be like lifesaver candy that was like in a jar somewhere. Where I'm outside with a freaking torch on my head.
I'm telling you, I feel your pain.
It's,
there was one night, and it wasn't a jail. I think I was working at Wawa. I think it was, or was it one of the shops? I can't remember. But my dinner was literally a handful of Starbursts, and I actually only got 6. And I only got 6 Starbursts. That was it. I remember the number because it was just that few. I just grabbed some and I ran, and I was opening. I'm like, oh man, there's like 6. So I almost don't even want to eat these because it's gonna be.
Yeah, I have to ration these.
Yeah.
I just use my drool to sort of satiate myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trick. Like these are getting back into coming back to what we were talking about.
Yep.
These are the things that you run from, and you run from these in business, but the torture is much different in business. Like I said, the torture is scheduled, the torture is discipline, but at least that torture is yours, and you go to bed. And that's the one thing I like about business is I never lose sleep. Like I'm never stressed about the day before because I know that I've given it 1,000%, and I sleep like a freaking baby.
Yep, everything you could have possibly given, you've done. So
it's been done. We're good. Like
win, lose, or draw, whatever it was, you did what you had to do.
I got it done. I didn't crash my $60,000 minivan, whatever.
That's a plus.
Like, look,
that is a plus.
Look, it lives to fight another day. And you know what? I am okay with living my life like that, at least for the next 4 to 5 years. You know, we'll do something different. Maybe, you know, like I'm really into religion now. And I'm really into religious theory and like how the different sects of Christianity broke up. You know, the difference between Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism. The fact that, you know, Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism, they sort of focus on you perfecting yourself, whereas Christian is like, no, you're not perfect, you suck. Here's this perfect person that you should follow because his teachings are great. Okay? Follow that person, and that will be a good template to go through life. Because, you know, you get to a, you know, I like that. I like the fact that there is a, you know, even though there's a lot of religions in the world, the idea of religion is interesting. The template for you to live your life by, because you are fallible, right? Mm-hmm. You are fallible. Like, you know, I've always considered myself as intellectual, smart. I can outsmart the world, but no, you can't. No, you can't. You're. I've been on this planet 42 years. Like, the society's been going for like
thousands.
I don't know, 40,000.
Yeah.
When Anunnaki, whatever back then. So they, you know, how about you follow this lineage of things so you can keep whatever this all is going to your, you know, you're talking about Maggie, you know, just different stuff like that, to your kids, and that's all you want in this world. That's all you want in this world. Anything else is just ego and fluff. I used to want to be a politician to see if I could change the world. No. I'd rather change my community. I'd rather help change. I don't even want to change my community. I'd rather just help my community in whatever they're doing. What do you do? Oh, you really care about ADA ramps on the block street corners. I really care about that too. Let me be part of a group that's putting ADA streets on, like, you know, the street corners. That's a good enough life charge.
You've actually done something that was meaningful in somebody's. It may not
Somebody's
be
life.
in a global scale,
Exactly.
but it does make
Here's
an impact.
this tiny little thing for a lot of people. I'm okay with doing a tiny little thing like putting a park bench for a lot of people, and that old person sits there and feeds the ducks. My name's on that bench. I've been dead for 3 generations. I'm cool. But old Pete that likes to feed the ducks sits on my, that bench. Cool. And that maybe that's a little bit egotistical myself, but, you know, it's small, and it's the little tiny thing that I did to make somebody's life better. Because that's all you really want to do. You just want to help people in this life. If you don't want to help people and you just want to consume, then that's a whole other thing. You know, that's a whole.
Always makes me think about that when you talk about politics and you say those words. I immediately go back to Jesse the Body Ventura's dad. Not Jesse, but his dad.
Jesse was actually pretty wise on the politics.
I
Yeah.
love Jesse. He
Yeah.
is the ultimate independent, and well, I'm an independent, so essentially, if he were ever to run for president, I'm dying on that hill. I'm just gonna say that. But of course, I'm not a person who agrees with everything 100% with what anybody says, right? But what his dad said was the one thing that made me go, like that whole when Trump was originally running for president.
Okay, 16 Trump won.
Immediately, because I was listening to all kinds of podcasts when I was doing my training to get ready for working in jail, and I started listening to a lot of Jesse because it was right around that time a lot of political stuff was going on.
Mm.
And Jesse explained on one of those shows that his dad told him, "I don't trust any politician." And Jesse asked his dad, "Why is that?" And he said, just using round figures, his dad did. And I'm going to say this man was wise, not even smart, but wise is the word I have to say. He says, "Why would somebody spend $1 million for a job that only pays 100,000?"
Talk. Talk. Right there. Right there. That's a whole. You start thinking about that. Like, your constituents. You know, your whole reason for getting into politics is to help people. But by the time you actually have enough power to do anything, you're already in the pockets of so many people who backed you, and it's like, hey, by the way, push Prop 234 for me so I can go fuck up this lake. You know, like, you know,
this is the thing that I tell everybody this all the time, because some people don't quite realize that, like, no matter what politicians are, especially when you start getting to the national level, because of all that money that's flowing in.
Yeah.
And you've known what the word war chest means. Do you understand what happens when they don't spend all the money in the war chest?
No. Does it go back to the next politician, or does it?
They keep it.
The politician keeps it.
Mm-hmm.
So all the campaign money and all the backing money, that's just theirs. Mm-hmm. So you mean? Well, let's run this back. Because my businessman and my evil business like, but like, you know, but like a little bit. Yeah, so I get it. Like, you know, you get a backer from, you know, whatever plumbing company that wants you to push whatever through, and he gives you $10,000. This person gives you $10,000. You only spend, so in the war chest there's like 1.3 million. You only spend 850,000 on your campaign, and you get in. So is it win, lose, or draw? You keep that money, or is it wow?
As long as it's in your war chest.
I never knew that, but that's chasing money, and they, you know, God says that you chase money, it's just not going to wind up being good for you. So I wouldn't do that.
At the end of the day, whether they win or lose, that war chest is
crazy.
Consider. Think about it, like, from all aspects, especially with your mind of business acumen and the way you understand how taxes move around. A lot of those places who donate money, it's a write-off.
It's a write-off to them.
So that money is gone.
But that money comes to you as some kind of inheritance, so you have to do some hooper jupe with that money. Like, nah, that's a lot. I'm good.
It's one of the reasons why people wonder why these people go into politics and they have no money, and all of a sudden they leave and they're rich.
Yeah.
A huge part of it is.
I remember watching something like that.
That war chest. Like, the more money you generate in that war chest, and the cheaper you are with those little pamphlets that you send out, they're like a nickel each. Sure, you might have a million of them, but a nickel a piece of those versus a presidential war chest. The amount of money that's in that war chest could be absurd.
And that's not okay. Like, and the reason why most people with good hearts, I guess me, I just want to get into politics. I just want to help people on a larger scale. But listen to that. Especially being born and raised poor, like I was, like dirt poor, that type of thing. That can corrupt. That can corrupt, and I wouldn't want
very quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. Yeah, so for that reason, I didn't even know that. Like, for that reason, nah, I'm good. It's just better to do it on a smaller level, and that's why.
Because granted, they have their staff that they pay and other stuff.
Sure.
Comes out of that war chest, and then of course They're gonna pay him fairly good, and of course, the higher, the better elected they get, the more money they'll end up making. But
Yeah, then more people will make more money and stuff like that. But then on top
just a
of that,
horrible machine.
nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. When I found that out for the first time, I was like, "Oh my goodness, that's crazy."
Yeah.
And then, of course, going back to Jesse real quick, just for a second, where he said that like he's one of the few politicians that actually made money because he didn't take a lot of those donations, a lot of that stuff, and he had a really small grassroots thing, and he actually made money on his salary from being governor.
How? What was he doing? How did he make the money?
He just kept the money that he was making for his salary. He didn't exceed a huge amount of
Oh,
money.
he never like
So
increased his cost of
yeah,
living.
yeah.
Smart.
Because he still
Smart.
lived in the same spot, so all that stuff is he actually said, yeah, I actually made money while being governor.
That's how you do it.
That's a person who literally had an intention that was like, yeah, I have an honest intention. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to stop. And it makes sense. Where like some of the other guys, especially the Senate, I don't understand.
Yeah, you can rot in the Senate. You can just die in the Senate.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Like the idea that you have like just based on term limits, you figure which one is it? The House of Representatives, they only get 2 years, so they're constantly influx of trying to get reelected.
It's a constant thing. Like how are you even actually doing real work when all your work is drumming up more money for your next election?
Thus, the war chests for them get really big because you got to figure you got to just keep going. And, like you figure you get in there. Now you have that little period in the beginning where you're not really doing anything, but you're trying to meet everybody.
Yeah, but then in
the way,
year one, you got to
go.
start ramping back up.
Yep.
Oh, here we go, Brian Fitzpatrick. Let's just see what you can do now.
And then, of course, the senators, like I said, those guys, they're sitting there for 6 years, 2 terms, and you've already done an entire what do you call it, life term. You've already done school. Like, you did 12 years in 2 terms. Like, what? And my whole thought process behind that is, that's another thing. I have to get into that some other time. I want to do more research on it because it makes so little sense to me. The progression of presidential replacements.
Mm-hmm.
You have the vice president right after the president, and then you know who's after the vice president. Right?
Speaker of the House.
Why?
I can't remember. I used to know. I used to be so good with this.
And that's the whole point. Because it doesn't make any sense. Because my going back to what we were just talking about, right? Their terms are only 2 years, so they're in there as Speaker of the House. Even if Speaker, you still got a 2-year term. The Senate is there for 6 years, so that person could very easily have a longer tenure time to figure out really what's going on, whereas opposed to Speaker of the House, yeah, they might know what's going on, but that guy could be out like that.
Right.
Whereas the senator, that dude is gonna be there for.
Well, I mean, you start thinking about the level of chaos that the country is going to be in if the president and the vice president dies. Like, and we get what? Who's speaker? Is it still Pelosi? I don't even remember anymore. Like,
but it's
somebody.
Just the idea. To me, it's like, wow, that just makes me scratch my head. I understand that those people represent the people.
The people have stock options. The people have the people have $1.2 million portfolios. The people.
Yeah, that's who they're representing. All of us in our individual little districts.
District 24. Okay, yeah.
I kind of understand the idea they're thinking is, well, these people represent the people, so the Speaker of the House represents his group of people.
Yeah, I understand the structure, but I never liked the mob rule. I mean, I understand, like, you can't direct. Joe Rogan had. I don't mean to go too far off subject, but Joe Rogan had a really good theory once. I remember listening to his podcast some years ago, and he was saying it would be really interesting if there was like sort of like a mandated voting app, and it had to be downloaded on everybody's phone if you were a citizen. That you put your whatever state you want in, non-convict or whatever going on, and then here's this thing that you have to vote on. Give me a minute video with the information about the thing. No slant. Do you want this? Yes or no? and you get these. I mean, it could be like once. It could be the people direct voting. The people on. Let's just give them to them once a week. Once a week, every Saturday at 6 o'clock, you're going to get a minute-long video. You got to vote on something that has to do with your country. first of all, it's going to give you more of a connected feeling because
Yeah.
you don't know. Usually, when you get to vote on something directly, is in the ballot box every 2 years. You know, you might
Hmm.
see something like, oh, there's a statute to make marijuana medical in Pennsylvania now. Do you like that? And you check it. That's the only thing that you get.
Yep.
That's direct to you.
Hmm.
Why can't it be more things?
Because they're always voting on other stuff.
There's a
So
bunch of
why
they're
can't they let
exactly.
us in on the
They're in
on
Senate
the
like
secret?
6 months a year. Like, what do you?
Yep.
Let me know what's going on. Like, you know.
Yep. Yep. I always love that because it just makes me go crazy when I think about that stuff.
Yeah, that's why, and I think that's what thing. Like, you know, anything that sort of piques my emotion and goes, "What do you mean you did?" And you start doing that. Probably shouldn't happen. You probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
You know what I
agree.
mean? Like anything
I
that just,
agree.
like, you know, I hear some Trump stuff, and you know, I just be like, oh, and it's not like, you know, I don't want to be one of those people because I hate those people. I don't want to say I hate those people, but I don't want to be like those people like, oh, I hate this politician because, oh, I can't do this because of that and this, that, and the third. And it's like, well, you know, it's like he's in there. People voted him in there, so the majority of people wanted him there.
Hmm.
He is your leader. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, once you get into the military, you understand hierarchy and you understand oaths and you understand your place in things.
Yep.
But you know, a lot of these people, you know, that don't serve and they, you know, they have some sort of entitlement. It's like, you know the term armchair coaching and stuff like that. And you're just sort of, you know, you just sort of listen to people that have these real visceral, emotional things
Hmm.
towards politicians. Like, you know, I've always kind of been neutral. Let me see what you can do with the country. Like, I want to see what you can do. Like, there's a lot of things that are wrong. I can think of a lot of things, but I want you to think of things. Like, for instance, Trump. And I'm not a fan of Trump, but he had a really good thing that I was just listening to. He's gonna start enacting high interest debt, interest cap, 10%. Your credit cards are 26 to 30% interest.
Easy.
And he was saying most people don't know they're paying that.
Nope.
Most people don't know they're paying that.
They just
So
see the little thing in the mail.
they
And
see the
go,
thing in the mail, they pay the minimum, and that's it.
Yep.
But meanwhile, it's just robbing you years, and you just keep swiping the credit card, and you're just digging yourself further in debt. It's almost as evil as a payday loan.
Oh,
You know?
those things are all. Ooh.
You know, it's
Ooh.
one of those type of things. So he's like, so Trump is like, all right, you know, I understand that he doesn't have as much power as he needs to, but he's like, let's cap high interest debt at 10%. Now, I don't know. Now, if you cap high interest debt at 10%, now are the debt companies going to be a lot more stringent on who they give credit to, or like, you know what's going to be the blowback of that? But that idea is the idea that a president, that a leader does for his people.
Mhm.
That actually will help people out. I don't think a year will help people out.
No.
I think more like 5 years. something
Exactly.
Like
It's
that.
gonna
That
be
would be a
one of
little
those
bit better.
It's going to be one of those things that
Like,
the next it's going to roll on. That's why I think when you talk about stuff like that, I immediately go to myself and say, okay, these last two presidential years, and I'm even going to, granted, Trump or not, right? My whole thing is the last three presidential terms
mm,
were a wash.
yeah.
They really were because, first of all, if
What
you
did
had-
Trump do in 2016?
we had a 2-year president. Like I said, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, right?
Right.
But we had what I like to call such a simple thing. It's consistency. I don't care.
I like
what-
8-year presidents
I mean,
myself.
see,
Yeah.
because realistically, you're not going to really get anything done the first year. The second year, you're going to usually have a midterm, and then that's going to decide whether or not you're going to get anything done the rest of that 4 years.
Right. Exactly.
If you don't get voted in, you know that another guy's going to come in, and they're probably going to take and do whatever they wanted to try to do,
Right.
and the cycle's going to start over again. So when you have, like I said, we had ping pong presidency, really, because we had a guy who was in for 4 years, Trump. He lost.
Sorry about
Now you have to put in another guy, which is Obama, not Obama,
that. Biden.
Biden, and he had his agenda, which of course, well,
Trains.
yeah,
That was Biden.
Yeah.
So Trump in the first one, I can't remember what Trump did in 2016, 2020 because, you know, I don't want to get too much into politics, but
Yeah.
that whole rhetoric was so hate-filled. It was so nasty to watch. So, like, I really didn't follow the president too much, but I did like Biden because Biden, his whole thing was infrastructure. I like the idea. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I like
I
the
love it.
idea of infrastructure and and what he did. Like the Alstom trains, the ones that are in they used to, they're on Amtrak's lines right now, but they're basically America's first bullet train.
Yeah, yeah.
That was Biden. That was a Biden initiative. 95 being built, all the highways. That was Biden's initiative. That's amazing. I like when presidents do stuff like that.
Yeah.
We needed infrastructure. Now Trump, uh, very good point. America's police, we need to be paid. I mean, excuse me, the world's police, we need to be paid. I understand that's why the tariffs happened. I don't like what's going to happen to the consumer for the tariffs. I think what's going to end up
wait
happening.
5 years.
We got to wait a long time for that. But what's going to end up happening is the inverse of that is, yeah, sure, it's going to cost a lot of money to buy anything that comes from the outside of this country. So the solution is you buy things that come from the inside of this country. Now, Dodge is Stellantis, which is Italian, so that's no longer part of this country.
Yeah.
But you still got Chevy, Ford, Rivian, Tesla. They got Slate. It's a couple other new American car companies coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You buy from them because they'll still be reasonable. You'll still be able to get like a $20,000 car.
Yeah.
Or if you just buy used, if you can find them on the market,
which are becoming gold.
Yeah, the used
Don't let
car
anybody
market.
lie to you and think that a used car is a bad thing. In fact, it's the they
first of all.
love dealerships can't wait. In fact,
Yo.
even with mine, like I said, it's a 2024. I just went and got an oil change finally because I bought it used of all things, right, in 2024 because quick story to go about it. It's on the same
lease
play.
type of thing?
No, at least it's for sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I bought it from a Kia dealership that somebody else had got rid of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like somebody got rid of it.
They got rid of it at only about, I think it was it was a little more than 1,000, not quite 1,100 miles. So it was like inside. Let's call it. It was inside 1,200 miles.
The engine ain't even hit the braking period yet.
Right. And so I started taking it to the Chevy dealership because I knew that there was a recall. So I said, okay, I'll bring it to the Chevy dealership. And then of course I said, okay, I know you people know all this stuff, and I've been out of the car thing for so long. That lane departure system, that's another thing.
That's too much.
I don't want to mess with it.
The calibration on that is like a lot. Yeah.
On that note, I want to also say, be careful when you put your window wipers up in the snow, which is coming soon, because people forget that there's a spring inside that thing, and if that thing decides that the spring says, I don't feel like being there, bang,
there's your window.
And these windows,
$2,000, baby,
because of all the sensors in them. Like 10 years ago, you could have got a windshield for
$200-$300. Yeah.
Not any, or should I say, not anymore, but not ever again.
Well, I told you about my wife's wife. The car I was driving for HHA, but I ended up giving it to my wife, the Kia. I was in Philly putting up a TV. Somebody touched my bumper and knocked out my turn signal. The turn signal was LED. So in order for them to get the turn signal off, the bumper had to come off. But there was also the whole lane departure system on the bumper. So they had to recalibrate that for a turn signal. A busted turn signal. You ready for this? $1,826.
I'm sick, but I'm not surprised.
$1,820. So that's what they say. Like, getting past, we were talking about the used car industry and how much of gold they are. And here's the other reason why you don't get a new car. Because that nasty subscription creep that we were just talking about, that's now in the car industry. I know you heard about BMW putting seat warmers on subscriptions. I have that in my my Chrysler.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I have the map, the GPS that comes native with the thing, subscription. So you mean I'm buying a car that I don't own? It's like video games. All of it is the same. I remember hearing I'm sorry, I get upset when it comes about money.
Because I'm going to say, on that same note, before you go into that, I want to just say the thing is, back to the used car slightly, because after going back and forth to the place, they actually called me up and said, hey, would you want to do a buyback for your car?
Ew.
And we're talking, okay, it's 2026 right now. That car was built in 2023.
How much came off of it, though?
2024, right?
Yeah.
I only used, because right now I'm at, what is it? I can't remember the mileages, but it's something stupid low. It's like is it around 20,000 because of just
That's about right because you had that for about a year now,
yeah,
right? Even you had an accident on that joint
going on about
too. Yeah.
2.
2 years now.
Yeah, about 2.
Wow.
So I'm thinking to myself,
About
you
20.
want me to sell you my car with 20,000 miles on it, so you can resell it again,
And not give me anywhere
anywhere
near
what I
what
paid for it.
So I'm going to be upside down on my next car loan,
Yeah.
which is also a less good car with subscriptions attached to it.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Exactly.
Right?
That's where the connection was. When you said the subscription thing, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like that's the trap.
Yeah, and it's really nasty. It's really nasty, and it's with everything. I can't remember who said it, but it was somebody said it was called the Great Reset. That's when all this started happening. All these subscription models started happening when the Great Reset happened. About 2016, something like that, is when you started seeing a lot of these subscription models. But the one guy said something, I can't remember what his name is, but he said by 2035, nobody's going to own anything, and everybody's going to be happy. Now you think about that. You know, all the things that you were told that were good. Like this is a house. This is a house that I don't own this house. I pay a bank, until 30 years and it's done. Then I'll own the house, but not really because I still got to pay taxes. If I don't pay taxes, they'll take the house, so it doesn't even matter. But like the new model is the apartment. Look at Philly. Look at Philly's waterfront. Look at Philly's Delaware Avenue. Look at University City.
That place.
Oh my God. Everywhere.
It's unrecognizable.
It's
and
unrecognizable.
the value in that land is just insane.
You talk to these people, they all got money that live there too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Zenith Transport is. It's my backbone. I'm an Uber driver. So you talk to these people, they've got huge amounts of money. Where are you getting all this freaking money? Where are you getting all this money? It's like you got a waterfront property. You got a 1-bedroom apartment that's $4,000 a month just to look at. Camden Yards, what?
Yeah.
Jekyll Island in
Yeah.
between the Delaware River?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, the view. Oh, you get to
What
see
are
a
we
tugboat. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get to see a
What are we
tugboat
doing?
every half hour. Like, it's like, what is this? Your cars. We talked about cars. We talked about your phone. You don't own this phone. By the time you're finished paying for it, it's gonna be time for a new phone. So it's all this crazy subscription thing, and this is why it's important that you dumb down your life. You focus on, say, maybe 1 or 2 hobbies. You focus on a hobby that makes you money. You focus on a hobby that makes you happy, and you focus on a hobby that makes you healthy, and you go damn to everything else because everything else is a complete distraction. It really is, and it's sickening. And until the world understand this whole consumer culture will be driven. This is why the stock market is never going to fail because people are always going to run. DoorDash is always going to be popular because some mom somewhere didn't have the time to meal prep for kids, or some other time crunch thing, or you mismanaged your life that you have to pay that amount of money. For me, I live on $25 a week for food. $25. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is one DoorDash order. Not
Easy.
even a full DoorDash order.
And you're not even talking about tip or no.
That's just the order.
Yeah.
And everybody is doing this, and it's completely normalized. It's ridiculous. So it's like. How are you gonna die in peace? You're gonna be a Walmart door greeter looking like Santa Claus, white beard, freaking on your 3rd heart attack, but you gotta stay with Walmart because their health insurance is the only person who you can only afford their health insurance, but you gotta keep working for them. But you 88, you know what I mean? Like it's like, is that really a way to live?
No.
But this is America. This is America. I remember Grant Cardone. I don't want to get too far off subject, but I remember.
Oh no, it's cool.
In
fact, you know what?
Yeah.
This is a good way to do this. Actually, this conversation is so good and it's going so long. I'm gonna let you people have to do something very interesting. Talk to us next week on the next episode, where we will continue this.
To be continued.